This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live. You know I usually do the Caesar's Palace thing, but we do have a lot to get to, so I didn't want to hold y'all too long because y'all know Caesar's Palace will be the next thing. But I'm not here by myself. Hello, good people.
Hello, and you guys welcome. This is actually Saturday's Ready to Love panel. We're just missing Ucha. We're not doing it on our regular channel today right now. We're going to take it the virtual way. We're going to tour through some different streets this time. But this is definitely the Ready to Love panel. And we actually have our main man Q here today with us. I am Gigi Man, and then we have our brother Braylon as well.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here. Good to hear your voice and yours, Gigi. There was a lot to this episode. It really was. I mean, just... I feel like the show is not so much about actually, being ready to love, but it's more of exploring the question, who is ready to love? Because this episode here... Ooh, Lord. So, with that being said, let's do what we do. Highest Wayne, lowest available. But either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. And here we are, everybody. We are live. There we are.
In the building.
So, I guess we'll get started with the elimination, I guess.
So actually, before we even get started with the elimination, let's start off with everybody's opinion on what did you think of the show overall this time?
Overall, I thought the show was it was what it was. I think that, there was some people that some people need to stay, some people need to go. I just think it was the wrong people. And I think Nephew Tommy needs a co-host for eliminations, but we'll get to the reason why I believe that, because child, that elimination was just so damn dry. Lord. I mean, Maurice and what's that girl's name?
Was the elimination dry, or was it the person who was doing the elimination dry?
It was the person who did it. Well, I say the elimination was dry because
and we're talking about the first. We're talking about the first elimination, the first part with William being eliminated.
Yes, yeah, it was the person for sure. But it's child. We'll get to it. I give it about 7. It had some weight to it. This episode, it had some weight to it.
Wasn't a fan of it. Wasn't a big fan of it. The way the show kind of disappointed, but you got to take the show for what it is. I think everything got to evolve, even if it evolves in something that you don't want it to evolve to. So I kind of respect it. Found it a little entertaining. Some of the twists didn't come from Tommy; it came from a lot of cast members, aka LaRon. But I mean, it was okay.
Okay, so see,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, Q. I'm more so leaning towards like honestly, I felt like it was just a time slot wasted. Honestly, I feel like there wasn't enough depth to it, and there was only like limited scenes that actually was worth watching. The rest of it, I felt like was just time wasted. It was all a blur. Like I started tuning out. Like it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And I agree with you when it comes to LaRon. Like LaRon, I feel like he should just go. Like honestly, just let's just get him out. We'll talk about that later. But
I don't see how
no,
he
to me,
lasts.
this episode, I wish he would have got out last week. But yeah, to me, I just felt like there was only a few parts that was actually worth it, like I said. But it is what it is. I feel like with the elimination being how it is now, that they're getting closer and closer to, actually choosing who they want to be with and, the reunion coming up and stuff like that. So I feel like it'll get a little bit more entertaining these last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the start of the scene, which was Vanessa and the elimination of William. Like, what did y'all think about the elimination?
Well, I mean, listen, I feel with, William, it was quite sad because I don't think he should have went home. I mean, yes, he was in the text messages, you know what I mean? But also, too, it's like, to me, at the beginning, middle, end of the day, oh, hang on, this is what we can do. Okay, hang on. I think I got a way to actually present the photos in. Let me see. How do I do this though? Not audience window. Come on now. Shit. Anyway, no, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think that LaRon should have went home because here's the thing: even though William was in the text messages, it was the fact of how he held on to those so damn long. You know what I mean? And that's just how I truly feel. He held on to them for so damn long that it really felt like, okay, what is your point at this point? Because now it's just looking like you're doing the most just to exist, and that's not cool to me.
Hey, that blew me too. That really blew me because if you first off, where did you get the text messages from? That's my thing. Where did you get the text messages from? That's the part that blew me. So then you putting it out there the way you did, I felt like that was very messy. You know what I mean? After everything had them smoothed out. You know what I mean? So on the back end of it, I really feel like he got an alliance with Maya personally. You know what I mean? Because ain't no way, there was no depth to what he was talking about. You know what I mean? To kick William out. Even though people can be in group messages all day, every day. You know what I mean? So that group message necessarily wasn't created to build alliances. It was just for conversation purposes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a piece of a conversation might have came out, and not everybody going with that narrative saying that chat was made to make an alliance, which it really wasn't. I don't feel. Then LaRon used it to get William out the way to get closer to Maya. So right. I wasn't really. LaRon kind of blew me with that one.
Yeah, it was quite a sad display.
Oh.
And then, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree, and I disagree with DQ. The reason why. Now, I agree with the fact that when it comes to the whole alliance thing, LaRon, like, to me, he's given more of he has an alliance with somebody. Now, do I think it's Maya? No, because I don't really feel like Maya's feeling him like that. I really don't think she likes him. And he's being definitely a little too pushy and, like he's pressing hard. Now, I do feel like how LaRon has been acting for weeks. This isn't just, the first time. This is weeks he's been going on and getting people eliminated off of what he says and how he feels. So to me, I feel like he's the one who has an alliance. And if there's is one, I feel like it was more so with Koshia and Mika. Like, that's why he made sure to anybody who he felt like was a threat to him, or anybody who he just they didn't go along with what he was doing. Like, he started the alliance. Like, because just like you said, dude, you're the one who came out and keep screaming that you have the text messages. Why do you have text messages? Like, you're the one telling about what's going on in the lounges and what you're hearing. So to me, LeBron is definitely, like, he needs to go. I feel like he should have been eliminated a long time ago, especially when he came real hard for April. What's her name? Alexis? April? Anyway, the one that was talking to Will a lot. What was the girl's name? That was it, Alexis? That he was talking about she's got to go and all that stuff. That was Alexis, right? Yeah. He was so hard to get her out, like that right there. I feel like he should have left then. Like, they should have seen something then, but no. Yeah, LeBron definitely, I felt like, should have been gone. Vanessa's dry as hell. I was surprised to even see her dancing at the very end, like, because she just seems like, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, after the elimination, nephew Tommy tells them that their exercise is trust and vulnerability. And after this was said, Patricia walks off, and, you know, she's feeling some type of way because William was one of her connections. She's been connected to William. She's, you know, has a little connection with Alonzo and Chaz. But when William left and the way that everything went, she felt some type of way and she walked off. Vanessa, you know, kind of follows her and knocks on the bathroom door, and then walks off.
Let me get that.
And then the guys sit down and they talk, you know. Huh?
No, I got the picture. Hang on, because we gotta do this right. So
just Vanessa, that part, starting off with that. What did y'all feel about that?
You know, honestly, tell you the truth, like I said this to you before, like, people at the dog pound have more emotion than Vanessa. Like, hey, are you okay? Patrice, you okay? All right. You seem happy. Like, what the hell? Like, a good dude who could have formed into being a good dude left because of LaRon. And just like, child, I can't. I simply cannot.
It kind of blew me. I kind of like Vanessa. The reason why I say that is because she always been her. You know what I mean? Never tried to go her whole way. A lot of times, it's always just herself. You know what I mean? Kind of dry, kind of boring, but just herself. You know what I mean? Kind of found her way through the whole process. But her chasing behind the other girl put questions between her. It made me question her relationship with the other guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, you really felt, were you feeling William more, or were you feeling the other guy more? I know your emotions were high, but I didn't feel like that response was warranted. I don't feel like.
Yeah, I feel like, it can make you question, like, what's the relationship between you and the other women? Like, because she went tucked away for a while and stayed to herself and didn't talk to anyone else. So it really, like, how strong was the connection that she and William had? And also, it does question the friendship or the connection she has with the women. Now, some will say, like, why does it matter? Because she's not there for the women, she's not. But when you're doing something like this during a time like that, you do develop friendships sometimes. And if everybody's in a group chat, then, you know, clearly there's some type of communication. But I felt like Vanessa knocking on the door was just like, I mean, it was sweet that she did it. It was, but it was like she could have did without it. Like, it's okay. Now, Chaz sits down and he's talking to Alonzo and LaRon. Like, I just can't stand LaRon. Like, he's so fucking fake. Like, he's right there sitting there acting like he's just so shocked. Like, oh man, that's crazy. William left. No, gone. Why would you start mess and put this man in it and then act surprised that he's gone? But Chaz is sitting, I got a whole problem where I could be eliminated next. What do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like he should worry about being eliminated, or what did y'all feel about the whole sit down with the guys right there?
It was weird to me. It was weird that I was having that conversation. I feel like the first time you ever seen something like that happen throughout the show. Alonzo knew he wasn't going nowhere. Just because his connection. Chaz knew he wasn't going nowhere. But I think what Chaz was thinking about is all his connections that he got to filter through. And LaRon just happened to be there. He knew he should have been gone. So, I don't know, just a weird vibe. You know what I mean? I never really seen those guys really have too much of a connection with each other. So, it's a weird vibe.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this conversation with all three of them, and Chad said what he said about he's in a tough spot. It's just like, this is the show, right? And at the beginning, middle, end of the day, all you can do is what you can do, and it's difficult, right? To have 4 connections, but also too, it's like the women also have to be responsible for what they do. And honestly, like, out of all of them, like Vanessa, I would just cut Vanessa off. And it's interesting because in the preview when we get to it, I'm just like, why is this even happening? But it is what it is.
I can totally respect him actually being vulnerable and saying how he feels, because he does have more connections than any of the other guys. And I bet it is, hard to juggle that, because you had 3, but then when another one comes and you actually can see like, hey, there's potential there, or I like the flow there. It happens. That's the process. But then, when you have Vanessa coming at him the way that she did, like, I understand, because she thought she was his connection. But matter of fact, I'm gonna save that for when they actually talk, because there were some things that she said that I really didn't agree with, and I'm like, he's being intentional. If you see what he's doing, he's definitely being intentional about it. But yeah, I wouldn't have sat down and said shit to LaRon just because LaRon's ass can't be trusted. I'll say that. I would not be vulnerable around him.
Absolutely, yeah.
I ain't giving Chaz a pass at all.
Okay.
You're in the last, so coming out to the last couple of days, you got 4 connections, right? A lot of times, and one thing that you can't deny is when it's coming down to a situation like that, when you're trying to figure out who you potentially want to end the process with, you got 4 connections. You should have been weeding people out. Now, what Vanessa is saying is, I've been your number 1 connection thus far. You know what I mean? So my expectation level for you is a little more than the other girls. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing in the ladies' lounge that you got other connections being made. You know what I mean? But the whole time, we're spending a lot of time together. You know what I mean? And it's so late in the process, how can you try to form other connections or either cultivate other connections when you know your time is being short? You know what I'm saying? You had the whole season to meet these women, vet these women, to see who you want to potentially end the process with. So you having all these connections, word getting back that the women are confused, you haul off and leave. That wasn't the right thing to do. He should have sat there like a man, because he the one that started these connections. Telling all these women,
I agree with that.
He had a connection with Alexis. What he should have did was stayed there, talk through it, and made his best decision moving forward on which connections he's going to mature in. Because toward the end, you seen Justin sit down with one of the young ladies and he had a conversation with her. You see other people having conversations with their connections, and they're like, okay, I'm moving in this direction. You know what I mean? He could have did the exact same thing with one or two of them, with these two of the connections, saying, hey, things getting narrowed down, we're cool. But what he likes to do is Chaz likes to be the center of attention. And whenever he said, hey, ladies, who do y'all feel like is the sexiest man here? He knew what their response would be. You know what I mean? So is he really there for love or is he there for attention? You know what I mean? Because it was no need for him to leave that talking about something, well, he need a break. He didn't know none of that until the ladies had their talk. Once they found out he had their talk, word got back about how they feeling. You know what I mean? You knew how those ladies was feeling. You can't sit there and beat around the bush and gaslight. And that's what he was doing. So you don't get a pass from me, Chaz. I mean, you're a grown man, Chaz. You're a grown man.
I agree with you when it comes to him needing to stick there and be a man and hold on his own, because you're absolutely right. These are his connections that he had. He definitely need to sit there and talk. But what I'm talking about is when Vanessa was saying him being intentional. I see it as he was and he was. Because the reason why he was is because he the connection fizzled out with y'all. He stopped connecting with you and started building stronger connections with other women, and you were seeing this. Now, yes, it was done in a very disrespectful way, I'd say, because if y'all had a connection and talked, he could have easily said, hey, I'm going in a different way. Even when they sat down and they talked to each other, he could have said, yes, I know you see that I am connecting with other women. We are going a different way, just like the other ones did. You are absolutely correct. But I still feel like if she's seeing this, like maybe she needs to say, okay, well, if that's going to be the case, you go ahead. And honestly, she could have self-eliminated, because who else is Vanessa? Who else does she have besides Chaz? If Chaz is with somebody else, who does Vanessa have? Who is interested in Vanessa? No one.
Yeah, and honestly too,
So,
it's like,
I mean,
and honestly too, like, in order for me to have a connection with you, you have to give me something to connect to. You know what I mean? I mean, the other three women, Rashina, Patrice, and also Kira, they all have dynamic personalities. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be around somebody that I don't want to connect with.
But at the same time, he's telling all of these women, good morning, sending all these women, like, you're taking the time out to pretty much go after the connection, to mature the connection. You're taking the time to do all those things. If you didn't feel that way with Vanessa, hey, Vanessa, look here. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the way I felt before. You got to have that conversation with her. You turn around and running from it and leaving her in limbo. You know what I mean? I mean, that's gaslight. That's pretty much what it is.
I mean, it is what it is, but it's just like, you can't expect somebody to care about you and then your behavior, and then you think your behavior deserves to be accepted. Because when Chad said that, you know, that I expected more emotional intelligence, I agreed with him. Like, you signed up for this show, and you're at, I can't.
But see, it's getting too close to the end of the process. You know what I mean? And it's for her to feel the way she feel, he had to be feeding into it. There's no way a plant don't grow without somebody watering it. There's no way. She had a connection with Dominique, somewhat of a connection with him. He got getting kicked off the show. But for her to really hold on to that, you know, he had to be watering that plant. And it's not, and you can't. I feel where Vanessa coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, he adding on all these other connections. You know what I'm saying? Then you say being intentional. You know, if he's sitting there eating a strawberry out the girl's mouth and doing this and doing that, I really see no intentionality behind none of that. I just see Chaz entertaining these women. That's the one thing I really see.
I don't know. Yeah, Chaz definitely didn't handle the situation, but I mean, yeah. I don't want to say he could have been a man and stood on his own and actually did what he needed to do. I don't, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I feel like he could have been a man and stood on his shit. Like, that was, nah. It's just a different move, but we're gonna move forward. And we're gonna talk about Justin and Rashina, because Justin and Rashina had that talk. They actually talked about how they did have a connection, because in the beginning, Rashina was Justin's first connection. And then he started talking to Mika. And he's more attracted to Mika, and their connection's stronger. And Justin and Rashina actually had the talk about him liking Mika more, and how she noticed that. And she actually said, you know what? I'm rooting for y'all. Like, I want y'all to, grow that connection. That's why I haven't really bothered you. I feel like Chaz could have done that. But what do y'all feel about how Rashina has handled this, and how, well, actually her and Justin both, because I feel like that was really a grown-up move, and that was, that was very respectful and commendable on both their parts to actually have that conversation. But what do y'all think?
Great conversation. I applaud Justin for how he handled that. His initial connection was with Rashina. And for him to sit down and tell her, hey, this is how I'm moving. We cool. They kind of go into their own had their own conversation about this. I was
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was happy, you know what I mean, to see that. And I really felt like that's what the show is all about. You know what I mean? You find your connection. One thing about being ready to love is being mature to love as well. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to say, you know what, I enjoyed our time together, but I don't feel like there's nothing between us and between us. That's leaving things in good standings. You know what I mean? Because you never know what the future is going to hold. You never know if you'll visit that connection other time there. You know what I mean? Or that connection might point you in the direction of something else. You know what I'm saying? So to end that connection the way they did was very warranted.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation I was very proud of, because, honestly, you do become friends with these people. You spend like 8 to 12 hours a day. And the conversation that these two had was a real sincere conversation of, hey, listen, I'm here for you if you want me to be. And I think sometimes people don't recognize that friendship is the key to everything. If I can't be around you and care about you, then I'm not going to love you. You guys can speak. I was done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, you have those connections and you build them, and sometimes it doesn't work out romantically. So being a friend is it's okay to have, but to be able to cordially come to that same agreement, and to actually say, respectfully, I'm rooting for y'all because I can see that y'all's connection is a lot stronger. Like, it's definitely commendable on Rashina's part, and I'm definitely rooting for her and her happiness, and Justin and Mika. But let's move on to Chaz and Vanessa and talk about. Chaz and Vanessa, they meet up. She's like, hey, I see that you're making your rounds to all your other connections, but you're not really making your rounds to me. Like, this is the first time we've talked. I haven't really been talking to you. this whole weekend. Like, you know, basically, what's up?
Right.
And, you know, Chaz is like, hey, basically, I'm making my rounds at 7:00. I was coming to you. And she found a problem with that. What do y'all think about that whole conversation with Vanessa and Chaz?
I think the conversation was quite frankly stupid. because honestly, it's like, why in the world would you if you are in this show, you should never invest more than a person's investing in you. And if you feel that uncomfortable or you're not wanting to receive what that person's giving, then what's the point of y'all even speaking to each other? Because I didn't get it. Because, I mean, in that moment, yeah, okay, Chaz was making his rounds, but he literally was right there trying to make a connection with you. And with your monotone voice, there ain't no energy to it. So it's kind of hard to really know how to give to you.
But it's crazy during this process. You go through different events. Do Vanessa, do this friend, you know what I mean? So to her, you know what I mean, they feel like she's getting support. So a lot of other women didn't meet Chaz's friend, you know what I mean? So I mean that holds a little weight. So the connection might be deepening for her, you know what I'm saying, for him, and she into another direction. You know what I mean? While Chaz is making he made a new connection. He made a new connection on the weekend. He made a whole new connection. You know what I'm saying? He made a whole new connection. And it was almost rekindling a connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this right here didn't happen. Okay, let's see where things go from here. How can you avoid have another connection when you got 3 other connections? You know what I mean? So she lost. You know what I mean? I can respect the conversation that she had because she want to know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, that's the thing, is like she's seen him crawl up in the bed and hold hands with Mika. She's seen him make the connection with Patricia. You know that he has the other connection with Rashina. And I mean, you were kind of the first connection that it seemed like he had, but it also seems like he has faded off and drifted from you, whether it's personality, whether it's because he really doesn't see the connection in you. But it's clear to see that he's making his rounds. He's, even though it's close to the end, like to him, it's still not too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like also we got to think about, it was 2 weeks in a row where the men were going to get eliminated. So I feel like he was putting his stuff out there even more, not expecting to have all of these connections to now where he really has to choose. Because I feel like it all started out as a game, but now it's like, no, you got to make choices. You got to decide, like, what's going on and what's going to happen. And people's feelings are going to get involved because some people are actually doing this intentionally. But I mean, if there's no connection there, you can't force it. If he's not showing that he's really trying to be there with you, then move forward. Maybe your connection's not there. And I feel like if Chaz is not giving her the attention or showing her that he's really connected to her like that, she doesn't have any other connection there. So maybe it's just not for you there. I honestly feel there's people there who their connection's just not there. And Vanessa's one of them.
But one thing she did was hold Chaz accountable. She held Chaz accountable for his actions. Like, you know what I mean? And when somebody do that, you know what I mean, you got to stand up as, you know what I mean, and take accountability for your actions. You know what I'm saying? He got to. There's no way. You know what I mean? From the conversation stuff that you had, now you got to stand up and be accountable for the things that you're doing. That's not what a man do. A man got to stand up on his own 2 feet and be accountable for his actions. I don't feel like Chaz was very accountable at all.
Yeah, and to leave out and pack your stuff after having this conversation, and instead of, possibly even gathering up all of the women and talking to them, together. Some might have said, "Oh no, you should have did a one-on-one." Either way would have been better than walking away and leaving the experience for the rest of the weekend. I feel like that was a cop-out. That was a way for him to not have to really take responsibility for the conversation that was had, or the fact that, hey, you do have a strong connection with these women, and you are going to at some point have to choose which one you're more aligned with. And maybe, some can say, well, maybe he took that, he left to do just that, but where did it leave the women at? It left them even more confused, and that didn't help the situation that was going on. So let's move on to Maya, Rashina, and Vanessa. Well, Maya and Rashina were sitting outside, and I guess they saw Chaz storm past, not say anything. He looked upset. And when Vanessa come out, they ask her about it. Like, hey, what's going on with Chaz? And that's when Vanessa told them, like, hey, I had the conversation with him about him having 4 strong connections and how it's coming off and how things are going. What do y'all think about that conversation?
I mean, the ladies want to know. You know what I mean? Inquiring minds want to know. You know what I mean? Inquire. Everybody he got so many connections, You see Chaz running off and they're like trying to figure out what's going on. All this. He started all this. So it's like, what's going on? Chaz, what you got going on, Bubba? You know what I mean? Like, it's no way for women. It's no way. He got to be saying something to them. It's no way.
Braylon, what do you think? I think your mic's muted, Bray.
Sorry, y'all. I think with this conversation with Patrice and Chaz, I think what ended up happening, honestly, was this fact of, first of all, shout out to Patrice for having the emotional intelligence to find out if something was wrong. But also, too, I'm proud of Chaz for just breathing. Because one thing has been that we don't get to do a lot is breathe. We don't. And when he left, I felt that he wasn't quitting on the experience of Ready to Love. I just felt like he just needed a moment. You know what I mean? And everybody handles things differently. I don't think it was, because we always say we would know what we would do in that situation, but we really don't know until we're in it. You know what I mean? And I will say this, I think everything is in the eye of the beholder, right? Because I look at it like this: if Chaz were to stay and he didn't come down, then he would have been questioned anyway, right? So sometimes having that space to be of yourself, by yourself, or to yourself can actually do good for the relationship. Now, me and Gigi talked about this before, that to me, if I was Chaz, I would have went to each of my connections and said, hey, I'm just leaving. This is nothing to do with any of y'all. I just need time for me, just to cover myself, right? But then it's up to that woman to at least be open to what I have to say. So it's a tricky situation. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm glad you said that, because I was actually going to ask if y'all were in that situation, How do you think you would handle it? So, Braylon, you go first. Like, I mean, you already said you would have went to all of your connections, let them know, hey, I'm leaving. I need to take some time, you know, instead of just leaving.
Right.
How do you think you might have handled that situation?
The younger me and the older me, two different people. The younger me,
I love the honesty.
the older me would probably handle it how Chaz handled it. The older, mature me, I would have vetted mine weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Weeks ago, I would not even be in that situation he's in now. You know what I mean? I would not be in that situation because first off, I know what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, every woman there, right, could be exactly what you're looking for. But when you start narrowing things down, okay, does this part of my life match up with her life? Okay, I don't have kids. She has kids. You know what I mean? Okay, that might work. That might not work in my favor as much as a woman who doesn't have kids and I don't have kids. We can get up and go whenever. You know what I mean? You start breaking things down. Right? Okay, she's close to here. She's this, Okay, we're bonding more so here. Let me filter in the connection that I have more stuff in common with. You know what I mean? That's what you do throughout the process. You know what I mean? To find out if you're ready to love. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. It's no way you're 48 years old, Chaz, and you don't have a direction in your dating life. It's no way, brother. It's not never been married. Never, you know what I'm saying? Never. He didn't say anything about any engagements. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's no way you don't have any direction. You know what I mean? And it's brother to brother, Chaz. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The older you get, the more refined you become, even in your decision. You know what I mean? It's certain women that I wouldn't even entertain because I'll be wasting their time and they'd be wasting mine. You know what I'm saying? So even with some of the, when he came out and said this, they said, how many connections you had? I've had connections with 10 out of the 11 women. How, Chaz? How? So, I mean, how are you defining connections? You know what I mean? Are you defining connections as to the fact of, I like you, you like me? You know what I mean? Is that a connection to you? I find you attractive, you find me attractive. How are you defining your connections? There's no way you had a connection with 10 out of 11 women, Chaz. Come on, man. And I can't even give you the grace that you took. I can't give you that. I can't. I cannot give you that grace that you so much wanted because you put yourself in that position. Brother, you put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
No, I agree with that.
But listen, we gonna skip past a couple parts because some of them, like I said, was dry and pointless. Like the whole Mika and Justin, okay, it was cute. Mika just, checked on Justin because he was sick and was trying to fix his hair, which really I don't know what she was doing because he had lint in the back and she could have just, grabbed it off. But anywho, but yeah, that was cute, Then they had the crawfish boil. Now, at the crawfish boil, everybody else was there except for Patricia and Chaz. And Patricia felt like, hey, there's somebody else in the house who's feeling some type of way. Let me go check on them. And she goes and she checks on Chaz. And Chaz kind of breaks down to her. And they talk and they pray. But Chaz ends up leaving the getaway so he can get away and think to himself. And Patricia goes out to the, back out to everyone and lets them, they ask if Chaz is here and she lets them know, like, no, Chaz left the getaway. What did y'all think about that? Let's go ahead and start with Braylon this time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, with that situation, I felt for Patrice because it's just like, damn, it's, like I said, it's a friend of yours in this experience, and you don't want any of your friends that you have come to know to get hurt like that. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I don't know how I would have navigated that because I think y'all know my mouth by now. I say what needs to be said sometimes, and sometimes I may be the person that's not liked. But I think that was a very tense situation. How do you go from supporting somebody in their emotional experience to going back into experience where everybody may not everybody's emotional capacity may not be there fully, and that was a very tense situation. Yeah, that was a very tense situation in terms of you're at this crawfish boil. It's a weekend getaway, and you're missing somebody there that everybody seems to love and care about.
What do you think of the whole crabfish boil and Patricia going and checking on Chaz?
One thing I can say about it is I revisit. I remember Patricia when she had the conversation with William. I had a conversation with William, and William explained to her what he's going through. You know what I'm saying? And she's always been that type of person. You know what I mean? So for her to kind of go up there and holler at Chaz about what he's going through, that was commendable on her. But that's just an testament to who she is as a person. You know what I mean? Very caring, very loving. And I'm glad she did it, even though he's going through some stuff he put himself through. She was there just to be very supportive of it. So everybody needs a friend.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And you're right. It does, it is a testament of who she is, and it just shows. Because after I seen her when she brought, the flowers to, was it Chaz's friend or it was someone's friend? It might have been Will's friend, but she brought, flowers to the woman of the house, and she's always been really respectful and she cares. You could tell she's a naturally caring person. And for her to take the initiative to go check on Chaz, it wasn't where she waited for him to come check on her. And even though he might not have went and checked on her, I mean, he could have, we didn't see it. But even if he didn't go check on her, she didn't hold that against him. She still checked on him and made it a point to where, hey, can I pray for you? Like, you don't have to go, but if you do go, like, let's try to clear some things up. And for him to be able to break down and, express how he felt to her. And it sounded like he was crying. I feel like that says a lot to his vulnerability and I feel like their connection. But we'll touch more on that because afterwards, everyone basically went inside. They start dancing, having a good time. Alonzo breaks out the skates. It's all good. They see fireworks and they go back outside. And as you see, they're sitting outside and they're watching the fireworks, having a good time. Everything was good. The next morning, well, hold on. Before we get to that, after the fireworks, everybody started like chilling and going to bed. Like everybody, they were either going to watch movies together or, just chilling, having a nightcap. Something I will say is LaRon and Maya, like Maya does not seem like she really is feeling LaRon the way that he's feeling her. And then the way that he pushes up on her, to me, it's just like, it's too much. Like, I don't really feel like she likes him like that, but he is not taking the cue. And maybe she just needs to be a little bit more upfront about it. But, I don't see them having that connection like that. Do y'all think LaRon and Maya really are connected? Like, what do y'all think?
Cute. Hang on, let me bring up that picture of you said Maya and LaRon, right?
Right, LaRon and Maya.
She's more interested in the juice than LaRon.
Right.
I mean, listen. You see, the juice is defined with color. There is ice, and you can see that there is some coldness on the glass. That cup is giving her more of a purpose than the man in front of her. This is your play-by-play of Ready to Love. Now, y'all know how they do. You know how they do replays on ESPN. So as we can see over here, this quarterback is trying to make this touchdown happen, but this end zone here is not accepting really this touchdown. She's only accepted this touchdown because it's by convenience. Now I can't do the X's and the O's here. I can kind of do it, but I don't have that technology. But there it is.
Okay. Well, one thing I can say about Maya is the connections that Maya had with William and LaRon both didn't really seem like her. You know what I mean? But she actually gave William a chance. You know what I mean? So my hat goes out to Maya for giving him the opportunity. And she was giving him the opportunity and really thinking about what it could be, what it could look like for them. Whatever happens, now her and LaRon is in a place of getting to know each other. Then he makes this one comment, said, like, in so many words, she said something, I'm a believer in God. He was like, so what God telling you? Something she was like, well, I'm here, ain't I? So in so many words, he said, what sign did God give you about me? And he was like, well, I'm here, aren't I? You know what I mean? So I feel like Maya's interested in LaRon. He looks good on paper, but I feel like she still has her reserves about it. To me, it seemed like he's going too hard after her. It's become a little more natural. Like he's kind of forcing it, you know what I'm saying? While she's taking her time. I think she's just open to the fact of seeing where things will go. But is she really interested? I don't think she's interested. But she's just open.
Yeah, I think honestly, I feel like LaRon might have problems with getting girls. So he does use what he has, to get them. But he's so quick to want to have a girlfriend that he presses them. And I feel like that could be his downfall, because it's we don't want you pressing us way too hard. Especially if we're not interested in you like that. It just makes everything worse. But I mean, maybe Maya has a little bit of connection, but I don't know. Because even afterwards, when they did go on that one-on-one date, even when she was he said, well, what's God telling you? I'm here, aren't I? Girl, that's not giving an answer. That was not an answer. That was your way to go around it. And then for her to say her only attribute that she gave to him was that he was sweet. What else have you heard her say about LaRon? Nothing. Not really too much. But
you're right.
Justin and Rashina talked the next morning. Yeah, she don't say too much. No,
right.
She's not feeling him.
You 100%. Only thing she said, he's a good time. He's fun. It's nothing really substantial.
There's no going deeper with him. And when she talked about William, she actually gave more details of things that she liked about him. But the next morning, Justin and Rashina are talking, and Rashina basically breaks down, because I guess Justin can tell that she felt some type of way about Chaz leaving, and everybody knew that they had some type of connection. And Rashina was saying that she felt some type of way because he didn't come talk to her before he left, and was, saying basically Patricia was the person that talked to him, but she thought that he was her strongest connection. So she didn't know why she didn't talk to him. And to me, honestly, it's just like this. And I was telling Braylon, Patricia went to go see about him. She didn't take the time to think about, oh, is he going to come see me and talk to me first? She seen that he was in need and he was hurting, and she went and saw about him. And I feel like Rashina could have done the same thing, because when her, Maya, and Vanessa were sitting outside after they saw Chaz walk past and they felt like he had, a problem or he was upset about something, she could have went and checked on him then, but she didn't. She sat there. So I feel like, in a way, yeah, we said Chaz could have went and told all his connections that he was leaving, but also in that state where he was at, she could have went and checked on him if that was her connection as well. It shouldn't have just all been left up to him to do. Like, if that's the case, all of y'all go one by one and talk to him. Like, there's so many different ways that could have been handled. But when it comes to Rashina and her acting as though it was a problem that Patricia talked to him last, I feel like she missed the opportunity or just didn't take it. But what do y'all think?
You said she missed the opportunity on what?
I'm saying that Rashina didn't take the opportunity to go talk to Chaz before he left. She could have taken that opportunity even before Patricia did. When she seen that he walked off and stormed off and was mad, and she brought it to Vanessa's attention, and they had that conversation, she could have went and talked to Chaz then. Patricia didn't worry about who was talking and, if he was out there coming to see her when she was down. She heard that he was going through something. She went and saw him. She took the opportunity. I feel like Rashina could have did the same thing.
I just feel like that's just who Patricia is as a person. You know what I mean? I felt like if it was the Ron running off, I feel like she would have, went to check on him. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just who she is. You know what I mean? Rashina's just not that type of person. You know what I mean? Rashina, like, how in the world you made all these connections with making all these promises and stuff like this, and you're not fulfilling? You know what I mean? So, how can you want that, but you're not giving it? You know what I mean? Some certain people go off energy. You know what I mean? Because energy he was giving off was for everybody.
Braylon, what'd you think?
For
the Justin and Patricia. So we're talking about Justin and Patricia sitting there talking on the day that everybody left, and Rashina, I'm sorry. Justin and Rashina talking, and Rashina basically saying how Justin or Chaz could have came and talked to her before he left, and how Patricia was the last one to talk to him. What do you think about that? Do you think, because like I said, I feel like Rashina could have went and talked to him. When she saw him storm away, she could have stormed off with him or checked on him then. But what do you think?
I think honestly that whole conversation about Chaz storming away, like I said, there was no way he was going to win, right? If he stayed, he would have been questioned. If he left, he was going to be questioned, right? And to me, I really think at some point in time, we have to be able to recognize within ourselves that everyone's emotional intelligence is at different levels, right? And sometimes we're one conversation away from starting something, going through something, or coming out something. And some people don't want to put in the work. If you're going to let one conversation define everything, then guess what? That one conversation could hold you back from your destiny.
All right. That's true. So, yeah, like I said, I just feel like she missed her opportunity, but let's move on. And we just gonna skip past it because they had the one-on-one date with LaRon and Maya, which All they did was talked about what they wanted, which I mean they've been talking about it. LeBron is so ready to jump on her and just if she said yes, we can go get married right now, he would definitely do it. Like I feel like he's infatuated with her. It might not even really be love. Like I feel like it's infatuation right now. But I mean, it very well could be, but I still just don't feel like she's into him. But then we go to Alonzo and he invites Patricia out for a one-on-one and they go to like the stretch aerobics or something it's called. I don't know what it's called, but you know, they're out there and they're working out. It's all good. They're talking and Rashina seems like, or I'm sorry, Patricia seems like she's enjoying herself with Alonzo. She did say she likes her men younger. She likes the fact that he's adventurous, spontaneous, can make her laugh. And, you know, she's seen his serious side, so she knows that he can be serious.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that Patricia and Alonzo have a connection?
Oh, absolutely. Hang on, let me bring up that picture because that picture right there was so damn funny. Hang on real quick. Because the date that they had was too damn funny. Hang on. There we go.
I thought it was cute as ever.
They looked like penguins. They look like penguins. But you know what I love about Alonzo is he matches Patrice's energy in such a way that I think that's what she's been needing. And so I think because Patrice is always having to be that boss, at her core, she's a very sweet teddy bear. And she needs that goofy in her life 24/7. She just wanted to know that there was some security there.
But she's still saying like she's still open for Chaz. You know what I mean? But that's, you know, I'm like, if this man has been giving you the energy that you want, even give you the attention that you want, why is the door still open for Chaz? And Chaz has shown you on so many occasions that he's still open to talking to 3 or 4 other different women. You know what I mean? Why haven't you shut that door off and given all your energy to Alonzo? I don't get that.
I feel like she's attracted to Chaz, and this is kind of like a newfound attraction. But I feel like Alonzo's more what she's wanting. Like, I don't know, maybe Alonzo wrapped in Chaz's body or something. But I feel like she does like Alonzo. Just like she said, he makes her laugh. He brings out a different side of her. You know, she really likes that. He makes her feel young. That's what it is. He's younger, makes her feel young, and keeps her, you know what I'm saying, vibrant. But I understand what you're saying. Like, she is still stuck on Chaz, though.
How long do you really feel like that'll last? You know what I mean? How long?
You're right. Because there's, you know, definitely got to be more to it, but
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
How long do you really feel like that's gonna last? You want direction in life as well. You know what I mean? You want to hear all these other characteristics. I mean, being funny and having a good time is cool. But for you to want that long haul with somebody, for you to want to be with somebody, you know, you want certain qualities. You know what I mean? So I want to hear those other qualities just besides he's a good time and it's funny and come on. You know what I mean? I can only go so far.
Absolutely right on that. So let's go on to the fellas lounge, okay? Chaz actually shows up after leaving from the getaway. He shows up to the fellas lounge. They talk about their connections and they talk about their ones they're not connected with anymore. Did either of y'all catch how Alonzo was squinting his eyes when I think it was it Chaz or LaRon said something about Patricia? It might have been Justin said something about,
Justin.
not having a connection with Patricia, and
Justin.
Alonzo he cut his eyes quick. Like, don't say nothing about my woman. But anyway, Tommy, Chaz was able to explain why he left. I'm pretty sure Tommy, had known that he had left the Getaway, but Chaz was able to explain why he did and the reasonings behind it. But with that, Tommy gave Chaz responsibility. I feel like since he didn't take the responsibility that he had before, this was his opportunity to kind of get it back. So after the guys basically said who they want filling, Rashina being one, and that being one of Chaz's top connections, he was tasked with taking her out. And the thing is he was going to determine throughout the date, like however the date went and how she is at the date, that will determine if she stays or if she goes. Simple as that. Which I feel like was another curveball for Tommy. Now, when they get to the date, all hell breaks loose. First, let's start with what do y'all think about Tommy giving Chaz that responsibility of eliminating Rashina? Or actually, it wasn't even that he was supposed to eliminate her. He was actually going to see if they had a connection and if he wanted her to stay or go. So how did y'all feel about that part? And then we'll get on to the elimination.
I think that, this conversation with Rashida is you can't win for losing, right? Because Chaz know what he did. Rashina feels the way that she feels, right? And at the beginning, middle, end of the day, feelings are feelings, right? So nephew Tommy giving that responsibility to Chaz, I understood why he did it. But also too, like, you're only going to be responsible if you care about somebody, right? And so being in the gentleman's lounge and having those different yays and nays at this point in the game is kind of ridiculous, because it's like, guys, this is what it is. Whoever you find is who you find. So it is what it is.
I don't understand why Tommy really gave him that opportunity. I don't think he deserved it. I feel like Chaz shouldn't have been the one to give her that news. Just based on how many connections that he had. You know what I mean? Because this didn't make sense. We still got 3 or 4 connections still there. I wasn't feeling that part. I wasn't really feeling that part about that at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, at the beginning, middle, end of the day, I think this show is a real reflection of what happens in relationships, that there is no perfect love out there at all. Like, where did Gigi go? Huh. Okay, maybe she might come back up. It's all about really being able to understand what works for you, because at the end of the day, being ready is in the eye of the beholder, like I said. And when you go on reality TV, you have to be ready because your life is not yours anymore once you go on. And it's not like you gotta be the CEO or you gotta, be the assistant or anything, but you should have your life together enough where regardless of what happens, you love you. And that's not easy.
I mean, you guys got being ready to love. I agree. You know what I mean? It's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, I feel like this show should give you responsibility. Because a lot of times in our journey, the more people we meet, the more we search for love. You know what I mean? Until we find it, we're gonna run across a lot of many bumps in the road. And how you handle adversity, you know what I mean, through your journey is preparing you for what you want and what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So if you keep hitting this one bump, in the road, you know what I'm saying? When you get over there, when you finally get over that bump, all those lessons that you've learned from getting over that one bump should propel you to the next level and not knock you back across that same bump. Because now you have evidence of like why I should not do this anymore. You know what I mean? Why I should love, why I should be honest, why I should tell the truth, why my intention should be forthcoming, why, you know what I mean, am I prepared for this relationship? Am I prepared to love? So, I mean, this TV show should give at least the characters and also the people watching it responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, you know, a lot of time we watch things or shows, you know what I mean, that we relate to. You know what I mean? So, the more you relate to it, the more you should understand who you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, essentially, you know, the people on the show should, hopefully, their journeys should become more refined because of the show.
No, I agree. Hey, Gigi, welcome back up. I thought you were coming straight back up because I couldn't hear you or anything. But yeah, we were talking about the gentleman's lounge, like you were saying. Oh, okay, hang on. Okay, Gigi, can you hear us?
Sorry, my Wi-Fi keeps going out. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. We were talking about the gentleman's lounge and just saying that, you know, when you come on reality TV, you have to be ready because your life is not your life anymore after that. And that doesn't mean that you have to have yourself together, but you have to know who you are. That this is an experience, but this experience is not everything that you are. And so, you know, I think reality TV really is a spectrum of what life is, but it's not the truest reflection of what life is.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. And I feel like that, you know, and we've talked about that before, like I feel like there should be more, you know, maybe vetting being done with some of the, you know, people. Because reality TV life is hard. It's not what you think. It's not what you're used to. You might just think it's the cameras, but then you got to think about the backlash and all your choices being scrutinized and everything you do being under a watchful eye. I still, like, when it comes to the gentleman's lounge or even all of the lounges, I feel like, I mean, it's supposed to be a safe space, but I feel like that adds to the stress of what already is going on, especially being around LeBron. Like I said, I wouldn't have told him shit. I wouldn't want to be in a lounge with him just because you never know, he's a loose cannon. But, yeah, when it comes to reality TV, I feel like there needs to be a better vetting process. So, because mental health is a you know, it's a very important thing and a very important topic. And I feel like not everyone is mentally prepared and ready for the process of what the world considers being ready to love. Because even though we're, you know, it's them supposed to be ready to love, it's still us basically you know, judging that too, as well as the people that they're with. But anywho, the elimination. That's what I feel like is the craziest and was like the most.
Gigi, Gigi, this is my thing. This is my thing. I'm all for mental health. You know what I'm saying? I really am, and I'm very supportive. And everybody goes through things. You know what I'm saying? They really do. Now you got to look at entertainers, athletes, and everything else. They're getting paid very handsomely for their opportunity. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it's on yourself to know what you're willing to take or what you're not willing to take. You know what I'm saying? So the further you go through that, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like that should just be an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? You should just never ever get so comfortable thinking that your mental health space is just safe. You know what I mean? You gotta constantly always be worried about that. You just don't stop. Or you just don't eat one salad and feel like you healthy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I feel like people gotta take more responsibility in the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's my thought on it.
I agree with you. I'm not gonna say that I don't. I agree. And I listen. I feel you on that. And responsibility is. I feel like there's a lack of responsibility when it comes to this show. We've seen it time and time again. Accountability, responsibility, just self-awareness is almost not there. But
Not at all. Because they just
how do
thinking
y'all
about the
feel like?
opportunity.
Huh? Say
Oh,
it
you
again.
go ahead, Gigi. Go ahead, Gigi. You good? I was agreeing with you.
How do y'all feel like any of that played in what happened right here at the elimination? Because I feel like, when it came to Rashina and Chaz at this moment, there was already a problem. There was already tension. Rashina came in already feeling some type of way because she hadn't talked to him before he left, and Patricia did. So what do y'all think? And he even said, hey, I text you. And she was like, well, I was going to respond, but then I got the invitation for this date. How do y'all feel her attitude? Like, because listen, I'm going to tell you, for me, I feel like the only reason why she self-eliminated was because she knew that Chaz might not have even been going to eliminate her. But because she thought that was what it was, she was going to self-eliminate first before allowing him the opportunity to eliminate her. Like, she already had tension. She kept cutting him off. He was not able to get any of his words out. Like, I feel like it was just, what do y'all think? What do y'all think?
Yeah, listen, I think that self-elimination thing, I felt a way about it because it's just like, if it's the case that you get eliminated, just let it go. You know what I mean? Because I think Rashina, if she gets out of her own way of being that resolvent, she actually is a good catch. You know what I mean? But I also think too, maybe this might be a wake-up call for her to just kind of recognize what is her emotional intelligence barometer. You know what I mean?
Rashina knew. She knew what time it was. Rashina knew what time it was. You know what I mean? Because you sit back and look at everybody who got connection and don't have connection. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of like, you didn't have a connection with LeBron and the other guy. Now you really weren't talking to Chaz out the blue to text you. So that invitation, that call might have came, a few minutes or maybe an hour or so later after the text when he reached out to her. So she's like, oh dang, I already know what time it is. But how she handles it, yeah, she shouldn't have handled it like that. Because, you know what I mean? Because everybody else, when it's their time to get eliminated, they stood there and took it. You know what I'm saying? So you should have heard Chaz out, let him talk. You never know what the outcome would have been. But at the same time, she said she's self-eliminated. You gotta take it for the word. Take her for what she's, take her for what she said. But nah, she shouldn't have handled it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She definitely.
Oh, go ahead, Gigi.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I think when this reunion comes up, hopefully everybody will be reflective of what they have done. And they can recognize that, guess what? Sometimes you just need time outside the show to understand what you need. Because I feel like to do a relationship immediately after the show makes no sense.
I agree. I totally agree. Sometimes, you recognize after the show. I agree. I totally agree. We got enough time to sit back and reflect. You know what I'm saying? So I agree.
Meeting family. What do y'all think is gonna happen? Let's get predictions for next week, and then we can go ahead and end it out on that if y'all are cool.
Yeah, so the predictions for next week. I mean, first of all, I think Vanessa's gonna go home because that whole date that Vanessa and Chaz are going to have, where he said, I quote, that I'm attracted to 10 out of the 11 women, and the person said, there's only 10 women, right? And I'm just like, damn. And he says it's hard to keep up with all these women. I'm like,
I mean, that's the part that blew me too. It's no way that you think that you had a connection with all 10 women. It's no way. It's no way.
Listen, he might have had that connection, but the question is, did they have it?
And then with Maya and Laura, let me bring them up because I thought that this was quite funny. When Maya said, "How do you feel about your drinking, and will you ever call me out of my name?" I'm just like, if you gotta ask that, child, what's this date for? Like, I can't.
Be a backstory.
Some men will call you out your name, being drunk or not being drunk. It don't fucking matter. If they're just that type of motherfucker, they're just gonna do that. I'm sorry.
It's a backstory to that question. There's no way.
And I'm gonna say,
there got to be some context.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, sometimes being called a bitch is not that bad. Like, some people just take it way too far. I'm just like, oh my God, you call me that. Like, so what? It's not, there's worse things to be called than a bitch. And if you say it right in the right context and at the right time, listen, it might invoke some things. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm different though.
Yeah, so it's,
look at how smitten he looks with Patricia. He just looks so in awe of her. But yeah, next week prediction, I feel like, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think it's going to be Alonzo and Patrice.
Yeah, she's definitely beautiful. But I think that about covers everything. We've went through everything. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to both of our channels. You subscribe to Braylon Lee. You subscribe to me at Queen's Tea, which is G-Man. And also make sure you catch us every Saturday at noon because we cover Ready to Love from top to bottom. Okay?
Yes, we do.
So,
and go beyond the show.
And make sure that, and when Q, starts up, if he ever does, we are here to support. So make sure y'all are looking out. Okay? So we will see y'all here next week, same time. Peace out, y'all. Bye.
All right, family.
Bye, everybody. Much love, everybody.
Bye.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a Black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of Black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch. Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a Black...
This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zola. No applause? You're all fired.
Caesar. Just look at him. Politician. General. Author. Ruler. Man. Legend has it, he's not only stared into the belly of the beast, he's had it for dinner. Here he's free to relax, or party, or relax, or party, or relax, and party. His is a world of opulence, excess, and the occasional impulse buy. Not one to rest on his laurels, he's famous for ushering in a new age of entertainment. So, for anyone seeking a place where the sun never sets on a good time, all this awaits.
I am Caesar, and I approve this palace.
Caesar. Just look at it.